Now that we've talked about how trucking can be fool's gold, let's talk about how it can be a gold mine. One thing about trucking is you don't have to have any of much education at all. You don't have to go to school for years and years and years. You know, it's one of the only industries that after 4 or 6 weeks, you can jump in a vehicle and start making, you know, $55,000, $60,000 a year. And there are some exceptions, guys. First year, they're making, you know, way more than that. Just depending on what their niche is, and depending on, you know, where they went to work for and what situation they found themselves in. I'm just going by the average. The average first year driver makes between $55,000 and $60,000 a year. A lot of other people, let's say you got an engineer, a doctor, lawyer, making great money. But how long does it take them to get to that point? Years. Then they have to pay student loans back. So there's something to think about. You know, does it kind of even out? You know, yeah, maybe eventually they do catch up with you and maybe surpass you. But for those first 10 years, you know, if you start trucking right now, you're making $50,000. First year, second year, $60,000. Third year, $70,000. I mean, it doesn't take long to cap out, I guess, as a company driver in the trucking industry. You know, you got guys at Walmart making $100,000 a year, you know, as a company driver. So, you know, like I said, the sky's the limit. Now, another way trucking can be a gold mine is you don't have to stay a company driver. You can become an owner operator. I'm not going to talk about lease purchase programs. I'm not a big fan of lease purchase programs, but I'm not going to use this episode to knock them and go into that. If you want to be an owner operator, which means you own your own truck, and you're driving under someone else's authority, you can do that. And you can increase your revenue. And if you've learned to manage your money at this point, as a company driver, if you've treated yourself like a business, by the time you get to becoming an owner operator, you'll already be good at operating like a business, because that's what being an owner operator is having your own business. And from there, the sky's the limit, you know. If you want to get your own authority, or if you just want to stay an owner operator under someone else's authority and grow a fleet, you know, grow a fleet of trucks. You know, the sky is literally the limit. You could add a truck every year, every 6 months, depending on how much revenue you're bringing in. You know, trucking is the only industry where you can go from no little education, 6 weeks, making $50,000, $60,000 a year, and then increase your revenue every year by the decisions that you make. And one of the ways that you increase your profit is by decreasing your expenses, especially when you start talking about becoming an owner operator, starting a fleet, you know, or having your own authority and building it from there. It's all about what you want to do. Again, I go back to the sky is the limit. You can go from 0 trucks to 5 trucks in 5 years, or 10 trucks in 10 years. Now, the average profit margin in trucking, if you're running a fleet, or if you have your own authority, you have guys in your truck, it's only about 10%, which that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about that, if you've got $100,000 and you invest into the stock market, and on average you get about a 6 to 8% return, you know, that's about what, $6,000 or $8,000 that you made? Not bad. If you do that with trucking, take that same $100,000 and get about 10% return on your investment every year, that's about $10,000, so a little bit better. Now, it's a lot more that goes into it, a lot more risk, you know, especially if you have a lot of assets or whatever, but in the long run, it can be very worth it, you know. One truck, yeah, you're not making very much money, but by the time you get up to 10 trucks, you know, you're making $10,000 a truck on average, $100,000 a year, and if you're still running your truck yourself also, you know, whatever income you're bringing in, obviously the more trucks that you have and have to manage, the less you're going to be able to drive, unless you have other people managing it for you. But again, the sky's the limit. If you could give yourself a 10% raise every year, or $10,000 raise every year, why not? And that's in a perfect world. You know, I'm just generalizing right here, but in a perfect world, that's kind of the way it will work. You know, you have one truck and you're making $75,000 a year. You get another truck, and then now you're making $85,000. Another truck, and now you're making $95,000, and so on and so forth. So, you know, is that picture perfect every time? Does it work like that? Absolutely not. But that is the goal, and it is achievable. the sky is absolute limit. Okay? And that's how trucking can be a gold mine. Another way trucking could be a gold mine is maybe you don't want to make a lot of money. Maybe you just want to, you became a company driver and you like trucking and you see the potential in it, but you want to have more control over your time. You want to spend more time at home. And so you decide to go be an owner-operator. And you can do that. Those first 3, 4, 5 years of being an owner-operator, you're probably going to have to bust your butt. Absolutely, you're going to have to bust your butt. But after those 4 or 5 years, then you can sit back and relax and go on the road, maybe only 14 days out of the month or 1 week out of the month or whatever. But the way you do that is, you have to bust your butt up front, and also you have to keep your personal living expenses very low, okay? Maybe start off, paying yourself, once you become an owner-operator, maybe only pay yourself $1,000 a week. Doesn't sound like a lot of money, it's not, but if you keep your personal expenses low, you can pay yourself $1,000 a week, $52,000 a year, not a lot. And that's, you pay yourself, let's say that's after taxes, so $52,000 a year. All the other money you made, you set aside for taxes, maintenance, tires, buying a new truck, whatever, all right? Now say the second year, you say, well, I'm gonna start paying myself $1,100 a week. And what happens is you get to the point where you've got so much money saved up, in your trucking account, that by the time you get to your 3rd, 4th, or 5th year, you can pay yourself $1,000 a week and go and sit at home for half the month, or go out 1 week out of the month and spend 3 weeks at home. But that doesn't happen up front. You have to work yourself to that point, and that's another way that trucking can be a gold mine. Yeah, you're gonna have to work very hard up front, but eventually you can get to a point where you don't have to be on the road that much, as long as you keep your personal living expenses low. If you really want to know how to be a good businessman and truck driver, I have a mentor, Larry Long, Blue Ribbon Logistics. He's got a fleet over at Landstar, and he takes guys and teaches them how to be successful businessmen. One of the things he always says is truck driving is just a small part of trucking, of being an owner-operator. If you want to be a successful owner-operator, you have to learn how to be a businessman. And he is that through and through. So imagine going to truck driving school is like graduating from high school. Going and being part of Larry Long's program is like going to college. He'll put you on one of his trucks as a company driver, and he'll show you the ropes of what it takes to become a successful owner-operator. Once you, I guess for lack of better terms, graduated from his course, you can go off and be a successful owner-operator with all the knowledge that you need to be successful. But what you do with that knowledge is up to you. But I really like what he's doing. I believe in it. And if you're watching this video and you're interested in becoming a company driver and eventually becoming an owner-operator, reach out to Larry Long and Chris over at Blue Ribbon Logistics. I'll leave their contact information in the link below. So, in a nutshell, the sky is the limit in trucking. If you approach it the wrong way, it can be fool's gold. But if you approach it the correct way, it can be a gold mine. Absolutely, 100%. So if you liked the video, go ahead and hit that like button, consider subscribing, and leave a comment below. What are some of if you're a rookie driver, what are some of your goals? If you're an old school driver, what are some of the ways that you found success in the trucking business, whether you're a company driver or an operator or whatever? How and where did you find success? Did you just increase your revenue as a company driver by maybe, adding hazmat tankers or, whatever, just doing something that would make your work higher? Or did you decide to go and buy your own truck and increase your revenue that way? Thank you for watching, and always remember, stay safe and stay smooth.